all sorts of money, but have no financial freedom. In fact, they're in bondage. They're in bondage to debt. They're in bondage to worry. They have no financial freedom. So the fact is that there are people out there who have very little and they're happy, and there's people out there who have a lot and they're not happy. So the first step is to realize that financial freedom is more about our attitudes toward money than about the amount of money we have. You have to grasp that, because if you're going to experience financial freedom, you need to understand that it's an attitude. So you're saying to yourself now, okay, Chris, I'm with you. So what are the attitudes that provide financial freedom? Here are a few of them that help me to experience financial freedom. Number one is that I do not have to worry about money. Have you given yourself permission to not worry about money? You know, I used to catch myself saying, if I had more money, then I wouldn't have to worry about such and such. But do you know what? I don't have to worry anyway. I can control my income. I can control my outgo. I can make choices that can alleviate any of my worries. I also realize that things always work out. So why worry? I choose not to worry. I've given myself the freedom to not have to worry about money. You know, worry, the best definition that I've ever heard of the word worry, is that it's a bad use of the imagination. And so what happens is we're in a situation and we're looking, say, 4 months out, 6 months out, 1 year out, or maybe you're thinking about retirement 10 years out, and we begin to worry. We begin to imagine a situation that hasn't even come true yet. And we begin to imagine that we won't have enough money, that we won't be able to pay the bills, and those kinds of things. I've decided that there's nothing I can do about that in the long run, but I can do something about it in the short run. I choose not to worry about it, and I begin to take action over my finances so that day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, I am developing for myself a fantastic financial finish, which we're going to talk about at the end of this CD. I don't have to worry about money, and neither do you. We can begin to imagine for ourselves a life of abundance, a life where we are taken care of, where our bills are met, and we do have financial freedom. Number two is closely aligned with this, and this is that I can be happy regardless of my financial state. I know people who are worth millions of dollars, and I know people who don't have 2 nickels to rub together. Some are happy, and some aren't. And none of the people who have a lot of money have ever said to me, Chris, I've become so happy since I got money. You see, those people were happy before they had money, and now they're happy now that they have money. But there's so many of us out there that think that if only we had more money, then we'd be happier. Money does not equate itself to happiness. If you're going to find financial freedom, you need to understand this, because you might end up getting a bunch of money and find out that it hasn't made you happy, and that's not freedom. We can be happy regardless of our financial state. The happiness of the people who have money has nothing to do with the money. In fact, I think it was the billionaire David Geffen who said, anyone who says that money will buy them happiness has never had any money. That's coming from the voice of experience, because he has a lot of money, and he understands that your happiness has more to do with the kind of relationships you have and the kind of life that you lead, the way that you handle yourself. That's what happiness comes from. Financial freedom does not come from having a super strong financial bottom line. Happiness comes from the kind of life you live. The third point is that money will be a means to an end, not the end itself. Oftentimes, our financial goals are about the amount of money that we have. I want to let you in on a secret. My wife and I have one financial goal in our life. We have never sat down and figured out how much money we want to have at the end of life. We've never sat down and decided what would be the optimum income that we want to make. We've never set any of those kinds of goals. We have one financial goal in our life, and that is, by the end of our life, we have a goal about how much money we want to give away to make a difference in the world around us. You see, that way, money is not the end. Money becomes the means to an end. Another way to look at it is that money will be a tool to build the house, not the house itself. You see, if you want to cultivate strong relationships with maybe your grown children, you don't look at money as your source of happiness. You say to yourself, the money that I have will enable me to take my kids and my grandkids on a trip. And that then builds relationships, and it builds memories, and it builds a legacy. The money was not the end, but it was the means to the end. I would set some financial goals if I were you, but go beyond that to know what greater purpose there will be when you reach them. What will be the house that you will build with the tool, with your money? Money will be a means to an end, but it's not the end in itself. Because if you make money the end in and of itself, you'll never experience financial freedom. Because money is never enough for you if you're looking for money. Rockefeller, when he was asked how much money is enough money, he said, just a little bit more. It's never enough, and it's never the end goal. The fourth principle is that I am free. We need to understand that we are free people. I'm free to earn. Some people think it's bad to earn more money. In fact, even some people who earn a lot of money, who pursue earning a lot of money, they feel guilty about it because they're earning a lot of money. But we're free. We're free to earn money. Some people think it's bad to earn money, but it isn't. I'm free to save. Some people believe that it's bad to save. In fact, a while back there was a couple of books that were written. One was Die Rich, and that was about how when you die you should be able to leave all sorts of money to your inheritors. And the other book that came out shortly thereafter was called Die Broke, and why you should spend all the money that you have. But we're free to save, too. Some people believe that it's bad to save. It isn't. I'm free to give money away. Some people feel that they'll be better off hoarding it. In fact, I find a lot of people that say, well, when I have a big stash, then I'll give money away. But I've found that it's best to continually be giving money away to charity and to groups and to people who are making a difference in the world around them. I'm free to earn, I'm free to save, and I'm free to give money away. And here's one for you. I'm free to spend. Some people believe that they can't spend anything on themselves. Other people, unfortunately, spend way too much on themselves and they end up in debt. That's coming up in a little bit. But some people believe that they can't spend anything on themselves. The fact is, you can. We're free to make choices. That's financial freedom. One of my favorite quotes is from Charles Wesley. He says, earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can. Let me say that to you one more time. Earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can. If you think about that, it's the perfect way to express that tension that is in our financial life that enables us to experience financial freedom. If you earn all you can, then you're not in financial freedom because you're just always trying to earn more money. That is, if you only earn all you can. If you only save all you can, then you become one who's always looking at the bottom line and can't enjoy other things. Give all you can. If that's all you're doing, you're going to end up broke. You want to earn money and save money and invest money so that you can give. So that's the perfect tension. Earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can. That will keep you in financial freedom. Here's some other principles for financial freedom. We need to realize that debt is the primary freedom killer. Do you want financial freedom? Then the first thing you should do is get out of debt. That is priority number one. Before you do anything else, before you go to look for a raise, before you go to look to invest, the best thing you can do is get rid of your debt. You know, a lot of times people say, well, I'm going to start investing or I'm going to start saving and make, 7 or 8% or 12 or 14%. Well, if you pay off your credit cards, you're going to be making 20% a year, guaranteed. You put the money in the stock market, it might go up, might go down. You pay off your debt, you're making 20% a year, sometimes even more than that. Getting rid of debt is priority number one. One of the reasons I have financial freedom is that I have no debt other than my house payment. And I work hard to manage myself and to manage our home to keep us that way. For years, I drove an old junker car. And while I may have looked bad, I had financial freedom that others who were in debt didn't have. I had a friend once